else. And so I think, Ashley, do you think they know their names?
Some of them do. I think there are a few in here that definitely know their names.
I think
Especially when they're in trouble.
Yeah, like Sandy.
Sanders.
Oh yes, they are very playful, very excitable.
You can touch the one with the yellow band.
So much fun. Yeah.
Just use 2 fingers. It's a penguin. It's exciting. You see his camera. She loves cameras. If your camera's down low enough, she will take your camera.
Yeah, because they'll chase laser pointers.
You're not allowed to participate. You're not participating.
Yeah. Everything is toy. Everything is fun, and it's just kind of interesting.
Oh, it's so silky.
So when she's coming around and you're feeling them, everyone always says that they're so soft, and that's because they have those sunny feathers.
Distracted.
So they
She's
tons of
new to
feathers.
the encounters because she just finished molting, so she's been out of them for a while. So she's still kind
So
of
they do have a ton of feathers.
She's like, I don't understand what's happening.
But that's actually
Green Bean is really excited to get back into the encounters, which is why she's
when they swim in
toy.
the
She's like, all
water,
right,
the
I'm ready.
water is
Let
about
him go.
50 degrees where they
Not
swim.
allowed.
They spend about half their
Wait till you
life
touch it.
swimming.
It's like silky.
So
That's my watch.
they spend a lot of
Not
time
really
in the water. But here they don't spend as much time in the water. Everyone always asks why they don't go swimming. And that's because they rather hang out with you guys. You guys are much more exciting to them.
It's only working on
Oh, it's because you're distracting them. I was like, why aren't they over here? People want to touch them. That's funny. They're really interesting animals.
They are. They're so good. And he touches back 2 fingers.
But I know a lot of people when they come in, they also notice the ground is a little
Isn't that
messy.
sweet?
We're not slacking on our jobs, I promise. The penguins, they can actually eat quite a lot. They can eat 40 fish a day the size of a dollar bill. So if you imagine that on their little bodies there, quite a lot. And so they go to the bathroom about every 20 minutes. And so even though we clean in here at least 2 times a day, probably 3 if we can, they still make quite the mess of it. But it would be like us eating 100 quarter-pound cheeseburgers if we ate as much as they did. So that'd be a lot of food. So I'm not going to try that, but that's what these penguins do. And a lot of people also, when they touch them, they think that they're very dense. They're very thick birds, and they are. They eat a lot. But they do go to the bathroom just as much, and they actually put that to good use. They actually make their homes out of their waste. They dig their version of a sanding castle. They dig a big hole in the ground, they fill it with leaves and twigs, and they kind of shape it, but they use their waste to harden the sand instead of water. So it's very useful, but it's also kind of gross. And a lot of people come in here and they want to take a penguin home, but they live in houses of their waste. So they're not always very clean. They are very stinky. So
How much did I weigh?
see, we weighed them last week, and the one that weighed the most was probably, 9 pounds, 10 pounds almost. So, usually about 7 or 8 pounds. It's pretty average. And they can't fly, so that's why they weigh so much. Most birds this size who could fly would weigh maybe a pound, if that. And they can't. They can really dart underwater, though. They can go about 60 miles an hour in the water, which is twice as fast as Michael Phelps. So they can really move. They can. And I mean, I guess it kind of helps when they're trying to catch fish. So fish move pretty fast. Huh? Well, he's chasing something. He's chasing a shadow. But they each have their own personalities or their own little quirks. Paula, who's over there, she chases shadows on the ground. They all chase laser pointers. I don't know if she's chasing the reflection or if she's chasing a fly. Because when a fly gets in here, it's on. Is it? Well, I don't see the reflection. So I'm trying to watch it. So did you see it a second ago? But yeah, they're all very interesting, that's for sure. Speckles here, because this one, she looks different than all the others. She kind of has a little bit more white on the side of her head and a little bit more black on her chest. So she's She's a little different. Normally they have their nice clean lines and clean tuxedos. She's got like big white sideburns. She's a little special. She's our different bird.
Well, hello.
Randy here's one of the older ones, and Randy didn't really get to see people as much when she was growing up. The rest of them, including Randy, they were all hand raised at about 20 days old. They came here, and so they were all hand raised. So they all think that we are giant penguins. So, which is why we ask to use 2 fingers with the penguins, because it's about the same size as their beak. And when you touch them down their back, they think that you're preening them, you're cleaning them, which is a good behavior. And so they're being social with you. And so it's kind of why we ask to use 2 fingers. But yeah, they do eat quite a lot. And Randy, she's a little thinner because she just finished molting. And when they molt, they won't eat because they can't swim. And so even though we hand feed them every fish 3 times a day, they still won't eat. It's just instinct. But before they molt, that's when they eat a ton. They eat an amazing amount. And they get really, really chunky. So she should be molting soon, so that's why she's packing on some weight. This is Simon. Simon's a sweetheart. Simon will pretty much let you do whatever. She just wants to be loved. That's all it takes.
Just let it sit and
That's
look.
Green Bean. Green Bean's still trying to make herself waterproof.
Hi there.
How long do they live?
The oldest living one right now is 36 years old, but usually about 20 years is pretty average. So, well, keep your hands back just until she brings one to you. Like, they can have the tendency to nip and bite, just like cats and dogs. But for the most part, they just love being with people.